Hi, Kat.
Hi, Tiffany. Happy almost New Year's.
Happy almost New Year's. Yes, it's so exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. You're running the show here.
I don't know. Well, this is like a mini episode, so it's sort of a combined effort because we
Yeah, it's
wanted
a free form. Yeah.
freeform. We wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions that are more sustainable.
Yeah. Everybody
And
makes New Year's resolutions about losing weight or going to the gym, but I think these are more impactful and maybe easier to do.
yeah, and also, I don't know, I think they kind of make you feel really good, like just as good as maybe losing weight. It depends on your goals, I guess, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel really good. Like what we did for the episode is we wrote out like a look back at what we've done this year, and it's really nice to look back and be like, "Oh wow, a year can
Yeah.
make a huge difference even in
Absolutely.
tiny little steps." So,
Yeah. And how big those like I don't know. It is a big deal, even if it feels small to make these
mhm.
changes. Like, oh, I didn't used to
Right.
do that, and now I do, and I'm a different person, and I'm better for it.
Yeah, exactly. And you like inspire people around you.
Yeah, or make
So,
it easier for them because you can be an expert at it. You're like, well, I do this,
mhm. Yep.
so yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of like my first one. I started composting this year, and I don't remember if I talked about that on the podcast. I think I may have.
yeah. You have you because when you were talking about the mill,
Yeah, because I knew I. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's when I first started it. And it's so easy. It's like I was so nervous about it because I think we talked with some of our listeners about this, but there's like some gatekeeping
yes,
in the compost world. I don't know why, but I've noticed it even with like this master gardener program that I went to and had a little chat with them. Two of the women were like, do whatever the hell works for you.
yeah,
Like, just whatever. Throw your pizza box in, it'll be fine. And then
yeah.
one of the other women was like, no, you have to do layers. You have to do precise layers. You have to do this, you have to do that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to these ladies who are
Yeah, how
just like,
about
fuck it.
yeah? It doesn't always have to be hard to be good.
Yes, and it's already working. I
Oh,
turned
wow.
it the other day and I noticed on the bottom it's turning into compost. So I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
holy shit, I'm doing something right.
Well, and that's similar to my experience. I have changed what I'm composting. Excuse me. Based on the research that you talked about and just looking into my own cuz I do city composting. I have a bin
Uh huh.
and I put more into it than I did. For
Oh,
sure.
cool.
Like for instance before I would just throw away my pizza boxes cuz I didn't think they were compostable, but they
Mm
are.
hmm.
And so now a lot more goes into that bin.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and like chicken bones and things I didn't and I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't had the impetus to look into what my city actually will take. And I also got rid of the compostable trash bags
Mm
that I
hmm.
was using to line my bin because we did that episode and they're just
That
yeah.
was one of my favorites. That was our
Yeah.
early one. And it was like,
Yeah.
wow, these are shit.
Confetti. Yeah, plastic confetti and I'm like even if it's going to a city, why bother? I don't need to buy this and I don't need to waste it. So, yeah, I've
Yeah.
definitely changed my composting habits as well.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we also have a city one, but it's not like they don't pick up on my street corner. So it's just easier for me to go in my backyard and throw it.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
But yeah, I mean, if I wanted to do like meat or bones or other random, like probably pizza boxes, I think they would take that kind of stuff. But I can't
Yeah.
do that in my backyard. So
No. Yeah, it would take too long.
yeah, but I also started my mother in law composting. So
Oh,
that's pretty
wow.
fun.
That is cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like you can spread this stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just a couple things. Like I started a pollinator garden.
I love it.
Talked about that a little bit. And actually, it did work out in the end, even though the deer were wanting to destroy it. But,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time researching native plants in my area and found a lot of really awesome resources from my county. And it's like so many people are into this whole like pollinator garden, native, like no more lawns, all this stuff. We're going to have to talk about that in our next season
We
for
definitely
sure.
need to. Yeah.
Because it's such a hot topic right now, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So,
Awesome. Well, and I need your guidance because that's what I want to do too.
oh yay! I mean, truthfully, I have like basically an acre of lawn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not by choice, I inherited it, but
Right.
it's ridiculous. So I'm, like, just trying to find little pockets that I can turn into little, like, flower beds, and then
Oh, that's great though.
eventually, after years, it will
It'll be a
be
meadow again.
yes. And then yeah, what's your other one? What's your next one?
Well, I would similar to how I changed up my composting habits, I've changed how I handle recycling.
Me too.
Yeah. So I used to have a bag. I used to use those clear plastic bags,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and I don't anymore. And I also am more conscientious about separating things out and making sure they're clean, and not I now know more thoroughly what can be recycled and what can't.
Yes.
So that has and it's also changed my buying habits, about what I'm willing to buy
Mhm.
based on how recyclable it is.
Yeah, I actually stopped buying the plastic egg cartons.
Yeah.
First off, because plastic sucks, as we
Yeah.
know from our
Uh,
plastics episode, but it's I get the cardboard ones, and I think those cardboard ones are at the end of their life cycle. So I don't know if those are recyclable. They might be, but I know that cardboard's only we learned it's only recyclable like 6 to 8 times or something.
Yeah.
So I just compost it
Yeah,
instead. But
exactly.
it's like my county does not take those plastic versions of
Yep.
the egg, so I refuse. I'm like, "Do not touch those. Get
Nope.
those out of my cart."
Exactly. Cardboard forever. Yeah, and I do the same. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I
Yeah.
also I got the guy I'm dating is recycling now too.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, he just moved into a new place and he's like, "I gotta get a bin that has a recycling section to it." And
Oh,
he started at his old apartment, he started saving recycling in a separate container, so this is
that is so cool.
exciting. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it rubs off on
It's
people.
contagious, yeah.
Yeah, and similarly, I started free cycling. I
Yeah.
talked about this a little bit, but I just joined my local free cycling group, and it's really active. Like, every day there's at least 15 or 20 posts,
Yeah.
and all I do now I'm just basically at a point where I'm like, I don't need more stuff right now of any
Yeah.
sort
Yeah. Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. So I just look at the wanted section. There's like a section, or people post
Oh.
wanted, like stuff that they want. And I have gotten rid of some awesome things. Gave someone a ton of moving boxes that we had from 3 years ago when we moved into this
Yeah, the
house.
last
And
time
we're
you
like,
moved? Yeah.
yeah, we're like, oh, maybe we'll leave this house in a couple of years. We're like, oh wait, the economy. We're never leaving.
We live here forever, yeah.
And then I gave somebody an old PlayStation 2 that I had from my, teenage years, maybe a little college years. And I was like debating keeping it. And I'm like, maybe I'll play this one day. But then I was like, nah, I'll probably get rid of it. But somebody asked for specifically what he like does something with old game systems. And I was like, please take it. Take all these
Yes.
games too. Here's a bunch of
Yes.
shit. Just like take it all.
Oh, that's awesome.
I gave somebody one of Charlie's like water tables that we didn't want anymore. And then somebody requested a lawnmower, and we have two, and we don't need two.
Right.
And one of them, this was actually from Joey's dad. He, was really old, but it still functioned. And I was like, dude, if you want this, you can have it. Because new, that thing would have been like $600 or something. So
Right. Oh,
I was
that's
like,
awesome.
honestly, take it. Like,
Yeah.
you are welcome to it. So it's been really a easy way to just declutter my house and
That's fantastic.
give stuff to people that they actually want. So it's been
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean,
So we're like,
yeah.
no, go.
I I've seen it around the same lines. I've started using Gridwell in the past year,
Oh,
and
yes.
I mean, I was pretty active on my Buy Nothing group, but using Gridwell has been great because they take the plastic film that my recycling won't take, but then also, for instance, on Halloween this year, they took leftover Halloween candy. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and after the holidays, they'll take Christmas lights and holiday lights and
That is really cool. Yeah, we
yeah,
did a whole episode on Ridwell. If
yeah,
you are like, what the hell's Ridwell? It's
yeah,
just a really cool company.
and I started it because I was kind of lazy and I don't like to drive to my
Mhm.
garbage dump, but it's been really Like, I feel better and better about it when I use it. So,
Yeah, I am a huge fan of them.
yeah.
Hashtag sponsor us. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
please.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so jealous. It's not in my area yet, but I hope so one day
Someday soon.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also sold our second car. So we live in like the boonies, not really, but like farmland. And we have one car and we both work remotely. So that's how we're able to make it work. But it
Yeah.
just, all it takes is like planning a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And there have been a couple of times where it's not convenient. And to be fair, Joey has a motorcycle. So,
Oh, okay. So you've got that
yeah,
going for
right.
you.
Yeah. So if he needs, yeah, I can't drive it, but
Right.
if
Yeah.
he needs to like go somewhere without and leave me the car or whatever, then he can do that. But at least
That helps.
motorcycles are like way less, they're way more efficient than cars,
Oh,
that's for
yeah, for
sure,
sure.
by like a million.
Yeah.
So that's been a really interesting experiment, actually. Maybe we can have like an episode on that one day, but because I do also, we got a request for like electric vehicles and I want to look into
Yeah,
those.
I think we're going to do a whole season on transportation. I think that's
Yes.
necessary
Yes. We
because I
did
have a lot of
talk about
questions.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think season 4 or 5
Yes.
after. Yeah, that'll be.
I love it. And
Yeah.
travel and yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds such a good idea.
absolutely.
So yeah, because I had we actually read blog posts about this. Like, is it possible to go down to one car? And then it's been almost a year and it's been fine.
Yeah, my ex-husband and I only had one car,
Yeah.
but we live in the city. That's a little
I was gonna
different.
say, did you have access to public transportation?
Yeah,
Probably, but
that helps. But
yeah, I mean we don't and it's fine. It's just kind of crazy. So
yeah,
um
yeah,
so that was fun.
yeah.
Although now Joe's like he's a car guy, so he's like, oh, I
Like,
need a
yeah,
car. I'm like,
like absolutely not. We're not
shush.
car people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would like die on the inside if I told him that.
Well, I'm definitely speaking of like going down to less stuff. I'm more conscientious when I buy makeup, especially now.
Ah, yes.
And well, dry shampoo, which we're going to talk about next week. But
Mhm.
just, I'm not just buying the cheap stuff at CVS, you know, and be like, well, I need a red lipstick and I'll just buy this one. Like, actually thinking
Yeah.
about how they're made, but also their health effects. And, because cosmetics are so unregulated,
Yes.
they don't even know what's in them half the time. So,
Mhm.
that means there's no way they can be sustainable if they don't even know what's in the ingredient list.
Yeah.
So, and then the plastic that comes with them and you're just throwing that away. You can't recycle any of those things. So, just I've quit the CVS lip gloss habit, which is nice.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, same. I'm like pretty conscious of adding. Yeah, it's sort of like when I run out of something, then I really think about, can I like make this?
Right.
Can
Yeah.
I do it? Is it worth it? Because some stuff is not worth it to make.
Right. I
I
can't
found
make a
this.
red lipstick. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna like dye your lips with beet or something, beet
Right.
juice. You could, but
Forever.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, like my DIY natural deodorant, I'm still an advocate for. I still love it.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of I don't know,
No, it's great.
controversial because a lot of people have tried that stuff and it does not work for shit. But there's just, yeah, listen to our episode if you're curious about it because there's some tricks, some tips and tricks, and I think
Right.
it works. It works well for me, and I prefer having that on my pits than it's less about the stuff that's in deodorant because I think we learned it's not that bad,
Right.
but it's more about like buying a bunch of excess
Yes.
plastic crap that I don't have to. I just reuse the same
Exactly.
container and it's so much cheaper too.
Yeah.
So
That's yeah. I mean, just being again conscientious about being consumers and
yes,
like, what do you really need? Like, is it really inconvenient, to
yeah,
not have this?
exactly.
Yeah.
And is convenience really that great?
Right. How much is it worth to me on a
Yeah,
certain
it's like
level?
sometimes convenience actually makes your life worse because you
Yeah.
just kind of feel like, at least for me, you kind of feel like, I don't know if it's lazy or you just feel like you can't do as much on your own. Whereas if you like bake a loaf of bread, you feel so proud of yourself. And
Yes.
obviously, you can't do that with everything, but it's little things, and
Yeah.
it does add up.
Yeah, it snowballs.
Yes,
And
it really does.
and it's empowering. I mean, it's like they say, do something that scares you every day, whatever. But doing things that we've kind of been trained out of doing, like,
Mhm.
it's
Totally.
not really that much harder to bake a cake from scratch or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah, compared to, like, a box
yeah,
version or just buying one, the
yeah,
box version, you might as well just bake it. It's like
yeah.
you're literally doing the same steps.
Yeah, exactly. It's just oil and water, and like
Yeah.
you're just mixing the ingredients. Of
Yeah.
it's like 2 steps more.
Yes, you're saving
So
yourself from measuring. That's it.
yes, yeah, which can be nice, but it's like, do I really need to spend $5 on this,
Yeah.
cake mix when I can do it for 250 or less,
Or way
on my
less,
own?
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, yeah. I think another thing that I've done definitely because of this podcast is I've switched my laundry detergent to, and now I use Dr. Bronner's soap everywhere. And I know I talk about it at every episode. I'm like, get Dr. Bronner's. But I definitely use it. I use it for my laundry. I use it for my all purpose cleaner. I use it to wash the dog. I just, the
I love
Castile
it.
soap. Yeah. And I do use the lavender. And I know we went back and forth about essential oils. I'm not afraid of them
Yeah.
as much as I thought I would be after that episode.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very inconclusive.
Yeah. And I don't have children. And
Yeah.
that makes a difference as well. But yeah, I just Dr. Bronner's lavender soap is our household soap now. So
I love it. We use the lavender for our, all-purpose cleaner now,
yeah,
just
it's nice.
because I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. And then I actually was in, because we've been going to fancy stores because Joe's on this diet, and it's
You're right. Yeah.
yeah, not yeah, I was telling Kat about this. It's like not on not not by choice. It's he has to be on this stupid diet. So we've been going to these like Roots to get, specific foods. Roots is like a health food store, sort of like a fancier Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and stood there for probably 5 minutes just staring at Dr. Bronner's bar soap because I was
Yeah.
like, I can get this and I can use it in my laundry. And I still plan to, but that means I would have to shave it down, which is fine. I can do that. But I stopped myself because I was like, you know what? I am not going to buy stuff anymore that I'm not going to use right now because I have so much dish soap that I still have to use. And so I'm like, I can come back to the store 10 minutes from now and get it anytime. So
Yes. It's not
I'm
I
just
don't it's
gonna
not the
like
apocalypse. I don't need it
stop
right now.
being such a goddamn consumer,
Yes.
even though it was so tempting because it's so
It's just right
beautiful
there.
and
Yeah.
it's a good product. But
Yeah.
even that, I was like, all right, just chill out, Tiffany.
Yeah. Just wait till it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what about stuff that we're looking forward to that we're gonna do in the future?
Well, I think both of us, after the food waste episode and
Yeah.
meal and composting, are really committed to tamping down on that's one of the biggest things we can do as Americans that we have control over is how
Yeah.
much food we waste.
Yeah, and we learned that that is actually factual that
Yes.
we can have a big impact in that way.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's funny for me because that is my number one goal, or yes, resolution.
mhm.
But I realize that the CSA that I'm part of is part of the problem because a CSA, you just get so
I know it's
much
so huge.
food.
Yeah.
I'm on the smaller share, and it's like I get just my reusable tote bag, be all fancy,
Mhm.
full, like chocked full. And so the problem is some of it is stuff that Joe doesn't like or I don't really know how to use. Like I
Yeah, if you
got
can't
bok
pick or
choy
choose it.
once and I
Yeah.
have never made choy before. And so I could figure it out, but it just sort of throws a wrench in my like, it's just that
Yeah.
one other hurdle that I have to overcome.
Yeah, like
So
meal planning around your CSA is kinda hard sometimes.
it is, and I have been trying to figure out a system, but I'm not good at it yet, and we're not too bad because Joey's been eating so much fruit and veg that it
Yeah.
helps, but but like, for example, he can't eat apples right now. So it's like, my God, the number of fall apples you get from a
'Tis the
CSA.
season, yeah.
Can't even tell you. And I was saying earlier, I made homemade applesauce for the first time. So easy and so delicious. But I still had to freeze half of it because he can't eat it. So it's like,
Right. It's like, what's the point? Yeah, and then your freezer's
yeah.
just full.
Yes. And yes. So I'm going to reconsider whether the CSA is worth it, or maybe think if there's somebody I could split it with, because I know a lot of people do that. But yeah, otherwise, if I do think it's worth it, because it is a lovely thing to do, because it's such a cute little store that I go to,
Yeah.
I am going to have to just dedicate time on the weekends to making something,
Oh boy.
like baking,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I love baking. It's just,
One
that's
more thing on
going
your
to,
list.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
A new
So,
habit, though. Yeah.
yep.
Yep. That's fair.
Yeah. You're good at meal planning or no?
No.
Okay.
No. I have been in the past, but lately I've just been my life is too hectic. The guy I'm dating is really good at like eating whatever's in his fridge. And it's
Oh
always
my gosh.
vegetables.
I'm
He's so good
so
at it. He's just
jealous
like,
of.
yeah, I just made dinner. Took me 10 minutes. And I'm like, because that's my thing is I make a production out of it. I'm
Yes.
like, I have to make bison chili and it has to simmer for 4 hours. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You can just throw a salad together or like
Right. Or
fry
pasta
up some
with cheese.
broccoli. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so that's one thing is to change that mindset for me is that it doesn't have to be a whole production to cook.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of recipes are really, I don't know, like if I have a subscription to the New York Times cooking app,
It's so
because,
much. Yeah.
oh my God. Yeah. You're like, I literally have no freaking clue to where to find this type of chili.
Yeah.
And I don't care to find this type of chili or this specific cheese or whatever. And it's just like so overwhelming. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like a lot of recipes you'll get something and use it once, like miso. There's a lot of stuff that uses miso, and I'm like, I know I'm not going to use an entire. They come
Yeah.
in big ass containers, and
Yep.
I'm
They're not little.
never going to use it all. So, yeah. So I think just being more conscious of that.
Yeah. Or if there's substitutes or something.
I'm wholehearted about substitutes, but Joe's always like, that's not right. And usually it's okay. Sometimes it's really a big fail. But that's just life, you know?
It's experimentation. You got to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other thing that I want to try to resolute myself to do, is that a word?
Yeah.
I want to plant more wildflowers. So
Yes.
that's like the big one.
And I said that's something I really want to do too. I moved into this place and I need to redo. I've taken out a bunch of really old shrubbery and all this
Mhm.
stuff, and I tried to get a whole backyard reno done, and it was like $40,000, and I was like, I
Yeah.
told you my budget was 10
What?
max, you know.
Oh my God.
So I've kind of been doing it myself. I planted my own fig tree. I have a Texas pomegranate in the front yard, but I really want to do more landscaping with
Mhm.
wildflowers and really make it because right now I just have this. It's not a lawn. It's not real grass, but it's like crabgrass, and
Okay.
it's Sean, the guy I'm dating, like he's like, I gotta mow your lawn, and I'm like, no, it's for the pollinators, but it is messy and not
No,
great,
I
and
get it.
so
I
I
get
want to
it.
really tame it and plant a bunch of native
Clover.
wildflowers. Yeah,
Have
that'd be
you
cool.
Does clover grow well there?
I don't know.
I
I'll
know
have to
it's really
look.
resistant, but I actually just got some clover, white clover, I think. And it's supposed to be really good for your like earth because it's
Oh,
nitrogen fixing.
okay, yeah,
So,
okay.
and it like is more drought resistant than grass, I think.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that's
look
a big
into it.
thing here. It doesn't rain it was
Right.
105 for 90 days and it didn't rain for 75 days. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to start watering. That's the other
I was
thing.
going to say it's wild that people still have lawns
I
there.
can't. I know. They've got us. I mean, water restrictions are supposed to be you're only allowed to water once a week. And
Uh-huh.
there's no way the people with the perfectly green lawn down the street were doing that.
Oh yeah.
And I
No way.
can't imagine what the cost was.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But what a waste of water.
Yes.
So, but I definitely wanted to do that and to get my backyard plant garden. I mean, my food garden in order to. My roommate, he got one tomato this year. I don't know what was up.
Well, probably the drought and the heat.
It was the drought and the heat, but also he planted them in separate containers so they wouldn't just explode. And I think that actually hindered their growth some.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we do have like a bumper crop of tomatillos right now.
Oh,
Now that
nice.
the growing season's over, but yeah, it was like what a waste. The summer
Yeah, I
was.
didn't even do any vegetables because it's just like I
It's so
would
much work.
I
Yeah.
would say focus on one or the other because I just focus on my pollinator plants, and that was plenty to
Okay. Good
keep
to know.
me. Oh my god, I started in early spring and I still am working on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would never have been able to do vegetables at the same time as like figuring this out. So
Okay.
and
Well,
actually, I enjoy it more than vegetables, to be honest. So.
yeah, there's something I don't know. I feel like because you don't have to harvest them,
Mm-hmm.
like you can let them just live their natural life cycle.
Oh yeah, and they come back,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do it again next year. It's
Yeah.
great.
Like, I have some really great morning glories that just take over when it rains. They're fabulous.
I love it so much.
Yeah. But but another thing I have been meaning to do and I really want to do it this year is I got a sewing machine with the intention of
Yes.
even just fixing, my clothes, but just I really want to get on that, learning how to hem things or tailor. If I could learn how to tailor myself, that'd be great. But just so that I'm not buying new clothes all the time. And again, it's to give yourself that sense of accomplishment when you finish
Mhm.
something. I'd
Totally.
I'd love to upcycle things. You talk about making your own unpaper towels, and that
Oh,
is
yeah.
so daunting to me. And
I
that
get
should be
that, yeah.
easy. Yeah. So I have
Well,
this sewing machine. I just need to learn to use it. I just need to get over that hump and
yes.
just do it.
I will say it's a big hump. Like,
Okay.
the only reason I know what I'm doing kind of is because I sewed in high school.
Mm.
So, I was on the costuming team in stagecraft.
That's
So, on
awesome.
the theater costuming team. We didn't know what the hell we were doing for the first
No, and
year.
that's what high school's about.
Yeah, and
That's
literally my grandma came in and showed us how to use our sewing machine.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
It
That
was
is
great
so great. I
because
wish your
she's
grandma had taught at my school.
fantastic. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, she is like she knows so much about sewing, and she helped me with a couple of the costumes that I was putting together, and I was like being so lazy about it, and she's like, "No, we had to measure this, Tiffany. Like we
You're
can't
like, "Man,
just."
can't we just eyeball it?" Yeah, that's one of my problems is I'm not very precise.
I'm
I'm
not
like, "Let's
patient.
spitball it." Yeah, that's why I'm a
Yes.
better, like, cook than I am a baker.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, so I think it might even be worth taking a class, whether it's like online, just to get over
Oh, that's a good idea.
that hump. Yeah, because there are just old school like sewing stores that sell sewing machines, and usually they sell vacuums, which is
Yeah.
funny. But they give lessons. And in DC, there was a store right next to my old apartment, and there were people like who would come in with their sewing machines, and the people working at the store would show them how to use it. So, or
I'm just
maybe,
looking that up right now. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
or
there's the sewing center. Yeah.
oh yeah, you can totally find something. And I think that would help because it is intimidating and it's kind of like this dumb thing that's precise and if you don't get it right, it's so freaking frustrating because
Yeah.
every machine is different. And so if you don't thread it from right to left sometimes then it won't work at all. So it's like it can be very finicky. So that might be a good step.
That is the best advice ever. Yeah, maybe I'll take a sewing class in the new year. That's perfect.
Yeah, even just once would
Yeah.
be enough,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, I
Yeah.
could do it too. I honestly don't. I feel like I don't really know that much. I know like bare bones,
Right.
but yeah, it is fun.
Cool.
All right.
Well, I was just like, we could talk about this all night, couldn't
I
we?
know, right? Yeah.
This is no longer a mini episode.
I know.
But
It's
I think, make two or three things you can definitely do and do them, and you'll feel so much better about yourself.
yeah, and it takes time. Like I think we're so impatient. I'm impatient. I think everybody's impatient in this society and it's like we expect Instagram like click your fingers and it's done.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that, and that's okay. And I think, like we were saying, these small, tiny steps add up and just make you more aware. And then you're more aware of other things because of it. And then you're just like form new habits. And yeah, I mean, I think since we started this podcast, I feel like I'm way more aware and it's really fun. But I didn't start there, you know. I was like kind of aware and now I feel like I'm way more. So it's
That's
just
awesome.
little
Yeah.
steps.
Yep. They're the best steps.
Yep. And they add up. So,
Well, congrats.
yeah, you too.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're doing this podcast because it really has made an impact. So
I know, because it's like all this stuff that I really care about anyway. So it's good to have an incentive to
yeah,
do the work behind it. To
exactly.
be like, does this matter? No, throw those out.
Yeah. Or don't.
Or don't.
Or
Compostable trash bags. Just
don't eat them.
Just take them to the composting center.
Yeah.
Throw them in the fire.
No fire.
I just imagine a composting center as just like a big flaming pit of
It's
Mordor,
like a dragon.
Mordor.
Yeah, Mordor. Yeah.
Just
throw it
lava.
in. Cast it in, Frodo.
I don't want to. I love my ring. Yeah.
I know. Keep the ring. It might be an heirloom someday.
Yeah, maybe. It's only slightly evil. It's fine.
Well, on that note, Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for making our first. We've been doing this for 9 months now, so.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Wow.
Well.
But wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We've done so much in that time.
Yeah.
That's
grown
amazing.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone will listen into the new year and give us your green resolutions for the year, however small they may be. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, Instagram at Greening Up My Act. We are always around.
Yep.
Chatting away. So.
Yep.
Or email.
Email.
What is it? greeningup@my-act@gmail. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever used it.
Not nobody.
Okay, you're right. We do have partners that we work with.
A couple people have used it.
Usually my sister just texts me directly. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which you're also welcome to do if you have our phone numbers. Otherwise, message us on Instagram. So.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.